Welcome back to my channel. Yes, today we'll be going through this mix. We'll be mixing this rhythm track from start to the end. Okay, so this is a starting point of my template. As you go along, I may add some tracks or plug in or whatever, but this is a starting point. All right, so these are my VCAs. I'm a mix bus. All of these tracks, these aux tracks, they are routing out of Pro Tool and coming back through a summing box, coming back into Pro Tool. All right, so my music, my drums, my bass is coming through these tracks and going out Pro Tool, coming in back. All right, so we're going to start with the drums, because you don't know, the drums is a foundation in some genre. All right, so in this case I'm going to start with the drum. So I'll be muting the 808 and all the music. Okay, okay, so let me mute what's on the drum bus too. Okay, the first thing I have here is this EQ fab filter. So what I'm doing right here, I'm going to roll out some frequency that I don't need, like this one right here. All right, so that is in the 112 era, and then okay, so that's 185. We don't know if the tracks is gonna be different, but for this rhythm track and for this kick track, this frequency, right, I don't need that honk sound. All right, okay, so moving on, adding a 1176 with a fast release, medium attack. Right, so we start to create that punch. All right, so moving along, put this on a loop. Okay, so moving along, adding this Tech at about, I'm making a boots at 60 Hertz, 0.5 dB. I'm putting some present 8K with a medium bandwidth. All right. After that, I'll be adding the BX console 9000J. All right, so I'm making a boots at 60 Hertz, 1.4 dB. All right, adding some present at 3K, small amount of compression, about 3 dB. All right, I'm gonna add some punch now, have some punch hitting the kick. So I'm using the DBX 160. All right, so this parallel chain now is gonna give the kick a punch. All right, and this one I will give it a girth, like another 1176. All right, so fast attack, a medium release, and a medium attack. All right, all right, so next on the rim, I'm doing some roll off, 139 Hertz. Okay, so up in the 1.7K there was this sound that I just control this sound at about 1.7K. Alright. Right, so in the 3K era, cutting about 1.5 dB. Alright, so control those frequencies. So moving on, I'll be adding a compressor. Alright, with a fast release. And this is a medium attack. I'm doing a 4:1 ratio. Right, so I'm taking about 2 to 3 dB out of that, adding a console, putting some present up into the 8K, 4K, small amount of dB, you know, adding some body to it at about 198. Small amount of compression said we about 3 dB of gain reduction. Alright, so in the rim shot now, I'm adding a parallel compressor, the BX160 once again. And this will bring out the present, the clarity, alright, along with the black box. Alright, so I'm adding the R tube in using the pentode and the triode. Then I'm adding some distortion from this plugin, the trash from Isotope. So I get this technique from Andrew Sheps, the way how we use it to add distortion to any instrument, you know. So I like the concept, you know, so I just tweak it. Okay, so next I'll be adding this, putting some verb onto that rim shot. Hear it? Okay, so I'm using the Valhalla. Where is it? Here we go. And this compressor to bring out the levels, the RVox. Okay, so next I'm moving on to the hi-hat. Nothing crazy, just rolling off some low frequency. They don't know that I have no low frequency in there, so I just cut that out. And adding a compressor. Right, so we're going to control the dynamics of it now. Right, the BX, adding some 8K, some 4K. Small amount of compression saved me. Adding some distortion and trash. So I'm going to treat the shaker similar. So what I'm looking from this is about 1 dB, 2 dB of gain reduction. Okay. Adding some more trash, put some Valhalla on it. So all of these are routed through the jump bus. So I'm adding this channel strip. All right, so this is the universal tone console, the RS56. All right, so I'm putting some presents, adding some present and some lows. I'm just putting a curve, 0.5. All right. Then I add a compressor. This compressor now is gluing all the drum tracks together. All right, so this is like a 2-to-1 ratio. All right, fast release, slow attack. So I'm kicking about 1 to 2 dB. All right, so that is the drum track with the parallel chain and all the plugins. But further on, if I need to add anything while I go, you know. So this is the starting point. Okay, so now everything is going through the drum bus. Now the drum bus is coming through this another bus, and this bus now is going out through the summing box and coming in back in Pro Tool. But on this bus I'm doing some treatment now. So this is a EQ. If I need to use it, I'll use it, but for now it's not being used. Now I'm going to use this channel strip from Wave. This is the NLS. All right. So I've used the Nevo settings with a drive at 5.5, and then the VMR FD stress. So this I'm just shaping off about 2 to 3 dB right here. So what this compressor does, it glue all the track together and giving it an overall punch, as you can hear it. All right, so this is without. All right, next in line, this EQ now I'm gonna give it some presence. All right, in the 12K, so it's 1.2 dB, 4K, 1.5. All right, about 70 hertz, and both in about 1 dB. And this limiter is just to catch anything, any peak coming through. All right, so that is the drum bus completely. All right, so now I'll be adding the 808. So let's hear all the 808, the one. All right, it's there. Okay, so with this 808 now, the first thing I add to this track was this EQ. So I'm rolling off about 21 hertz or 20 hertz in the very, very low era. I'm dipping out this frequency at about 130. This is it. All right. Let's go out about 3 dB out of that. All right, so in the 500 era, I just tamed that a little bit, about 3 dB same way. So in the 1K era, I'm getting that spike sound, so I just remove that. All right, so that is the 808 treatment. Now moving along, I add a compressor, and with this compressor I'm just looking for 3 to 4 dB. All right, 4-to-1 ratio, and with a fast release and medium attack, you know, because I want some of the transient to come through. I don't want to grab and kill it. You know, I say I want some life into it. All right, so that's a compressor. Alright, so now I'm adding some distortion, and this helps to give it some body also. Alright, so at a 0.1. Alright, so after that, I go into this BX channel strip, which I'm just taking about 3 dB at 80 Hertz. So I boost that, add some present at 8K. Alright, so this will allow it to translate through the small speakers. Alright, so the next step to get the 808 or the bass to cut through the mix. And when I say cut through, you can hear all details of the bass, of the low end coming through. So I'm using this parallel chain with the decapitator plugin. So I'm going to show you how I use it to get this distortion, this aggressiveness coming from the decapitator, how I use it to get that sound to allow the bass to cut through, right? Alright, so this is the default settings. Alright, so I'll be booting the drive using the EMI settings right here, and then I turn on steep, and then I'll cut some of the low frequency, turn on thump, and turn on the punisher, and then here we go. Alright, so I'll just take some off it. Alright, I'll take that. Alright, the drum and bass are 808. Alright, so moving along. 808 routed through this aux track, coming through the NLS, Nevo settings, drive it at 6, universal distressor. So this is gonna do about 1 to 2 dB, fast release, slow attack. Alright, so this Ultra EQ is adding some lows at about 1 dB, give it some body, and that would be the 808 on the drum track. Alright, so at this point I'll be moving into my mix bus. So on the mix bus at about 160, I'm dipping out this frequency right here. Alright, so I'm taking about 1 dB out of it. Alright, so in the 1K, so I'm taking out that sound, about 1.5 dB. Alright, next on the mix bus, I'm using this Abbey Road channel, the red 17. All right, so what I'm doing right here, I'm boosting the high tone about 0.5 and give it a drive at about 20. All right, so that's all I'm doing from this. Give it a presence. All right, and then I'm using this equalizer from Plugin Alliance, the V3. All right, so this is what I'm going to use to give the mix a curve. So I've been shaping it so far, but now I'm going to enhance that shape that I've been implementing. All right, so now I just put it about, say, 2.3. About 12K. Alright, so on the mid side, I'll be cutting out about 100 Hertz. Make the bass mono. Anything under 100 Hertz is gonna be mono, like that. Then I'm moving into this compressor right about now, the SSL G Master Bus. Alright, so what I'm doing now, this is at the fast release and slow attack at 30. Alright, so the ratio is about 4:1. So I'm doing 3 to 4 dB, and that's all I need from this compressor right here. Alright, the next thing I'm using is this tape machine, Studer 800. So I'm changing my speed to 30 IPS, right, and that brings up the low end and make the bass big and heavy. All right, so without, with it. All right, so that is the drum bus. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the instruments. All right, so I'll be starting out with this string piano. It's like two sound make this sound. It's a piano and it's a Picasso, something like that, you know. All right, so the first thing I have on it is the EQ. I just roll out some frequency. All right, under 100, making some presence at about 4K. All right, taking out some frequency right here. All right, moving along, I'm adding a compressor. So this is doing about 3 to 4 dB fast release, medium attack. All right, this EQ now will add some presence to that piano and that string. All right, and then I add this room, this chamber from this plugin from Money. I'm using the chamber settings, and this turns up the sound, the reverb sound from the plugin. All right, the RVox. I use that to bring up the sound. All right, so moving along, the next instrument is this guitar, and this is in the intro. So this is it. So there's nothing under 100 Hz that we need, so we just roll that off. And then I'm adding a compressor with a fast release, channel strip, BX. Alright, so add some present up in there, 8K. Alright. Some 2K. Alright, so I'll be using the chamber. What else? Okay, there's a plug. Adding an EQ. Okay, so I think I can do, what is this? Oh, that's a bell. Roll off. Oh, I see what happened right here. This was about here. Okay. This one was on a bell. Okay. Right. This is what I needed to adjust. Yep. Okay, so that is the plug. Next I have a string in the intro. Adding this compressor and the channel strip. So this is a string where I think I can cut some of this frequency right here. Okay, I'll be adding some chamber right there. All right. Okay, so with this synth sound, this saw sound, now I'm adding chamber and some delay. So my delay is the H delay. All right. All right, so my guitar would come through this bus. Let me engage it. So all my guitar would come through this bus here, the virtual mix bus, and this is the revival plugin. I'm adding some sheen to it and some thickness. Just trim off some of the signal right there, and then adding this EQ if I need to engage anything on it. Right, and this compressor is for anything that's spread. Anything would be on the side. Like if I'm gonna do any vocal or any percussion or anything, I would be send it through this bus here. Okay, so this is the piano. Piano will be coming through this, and it's going through this virtual mix bus. I'm using the British 4K E console. Alright, so that's a simulation of that. Alright, so I'm adding the 609 compressor. So this will glue all the instrument together. Add in some presence. Okay, let me play it from top. Alright, so all the drums, the instruments, and the buses, they are all routed through these axes right here and going through the summing box and coming back into Pro Tools. Alright? Alright, so at this point, this is my mix bus, and my mix bus is routed out and going to another bus, which is the master bus. So if I need to use this EQ, I'll be using it. But in this case, I have this curve bender, which is not being used right now. I'm going to use this in the mastering stage, and this is another compressor from Universal Audio. This is a Verimio, the tube compressor, and this one I'm going to use this one from Fab Filter, the multi-band compressor. All right. So I'm just controlling the low area. Alright, add back some gain right here, and this is in the high mids. Alright, and this is the highs. So I'm using that, and I'm using the standard clip. Alright, so with the standard clip, it allows me to hear, it gives more clarity to the mix. Alright, to give it that weight and that presence. And then it's been coming through this Fab Filter Pro L2. So this is what gives me the gain. If I need more volume, this is what would make the final volume. Alright, let me play it back from top. Yeah, this mix sounds good coming from afar. I like it. Alright, so this is an overall view. Simple template because it's a starting point. So if I need to add anything else, you know. Okay, so this is how I would bounce it out of Pro Tool now. Alright. So when I'm mixing, I'll be using this SonarWorks Reference 4, but for right now I'm not using it. Alright. And I also have the Matrix AB. So right now, as you can see, I'm in a good place. Alright. 18 LUFS. That's nice. The track sound good. Just relax and nothing peaking, nothing going crazy. As you can see. So my gain staging is okay. Alright, so right about now, there is the mix down going on. Okay, so there it is. Yes. Yeah, man, remember, please share and like, subscribe. Yeah, man, hit that notification bell so you know that we have a new video ready to release and you'll be the first to get it. So like and share and comment. Yeah, man. Okay, so there you have it, and thanks for passing by. Yeah, man, God bless, man. Until I see you again in another one. Respect.